This is what happens when the birds are being harassed. Listen to them. I was in the house and I heard this ruckus, so I immediately turned on the video to record this craziness. This is a guinea. This is a young guinea. Guys, what's the ruckus? What are you complaining about, guys? Usually when it's this loud, there are radio frequencies that hit the metal roof here. I mean, it happens a lot. It was happening this morning. And like right now, like there's a pulse to the left side of my skull. It's been happening all day today. Yeah, the criminals are on me like crazy. It could also be because I have been speaking to Karen. If anybody's been on Derek Robinson's conference call through the years, she signs on his call as Goodness 8. Goodness 8 is her handle on the conference calls. She doesn't usually give out her name, but she says, Lorraine, I don't care, give out my name. And of course, as soon as I walk out, guess who's driving by? Another little criminal in a yellow vehicle. Yellow, 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 yellow. So I spoke to Karen today. They did drive her to a psychiatric facility. They're putting her on a 3-day hold, where, of course, I mean, if anybody's been through this, 3-day hold to speak to like a little judge or whatever. So I was talking to her on the phone and she said, well, I think that they're going to be monitoring these calls. I said, well, good. I said, well, I hope they're listening. I said, because I believe that you have a personal injury lawsuit. And I reminded her about the Institute of Justice working with a personal injury attorney named Morgan and Morgan. They like to go after people like this. So Karen was in an auto accident June 12th. She was in the hospital for 3 to 4 days. They released her even though she was not ready to go home yet. So she goes home and she's in a lot of pain. They gave her pain meds and everything. Hi, kitty. Hi, baby. You want to say hello? Say hello. Say hi. Say, yeah, the guineas, all the birds, they ate all my food. So while she's home, now you have to understand, she's a 69-year-old woman. Okay? She's a registered nurse. She gave her resignation knowing that she's going to have to be dealing with these injuries, right? And she loved her job, absolutely loved it. And for a targeted person to have been able to hold her career and her job all these years is a miracle. Not only was she able to hold her nursing job all these years, but she was given extra responsibility to create a preparedness, an emergency preparedness plan that only she did, only she created. Okay? So, and this woman can type like nobody else. She's very articulate. But they are torturing her and she's on pain meds. And anybody that's been on pain meds, makes you a little loopy, makes you a little tired. So anyway, when they discharged her after her 3 to 4 day stint after June 12th in the hospital, oh, here comes a helicopter. Welcome to my world. This is not the first helicopter. Let's see, where is it going? It's in that direction. But anyway, so she goes home and there was a woman, not a nurse, but somebody that came to check on her. And Karen fell. She fell, likely because she has a sternum. Her sternum was crushed. Imagine being in an auto collision at 69 years old. Your car is totaled. She said that part of the other vehicle came crashing into the passenger side window. I think that's what she said. And her car was totaled, and the insurance company claims that it was her fault. This is what it's like being a targeted person. Okay? So I reminded her also, July 1st, I spoke to her yesterday to pay her rent, to make sure she doesn't get evicted. Pay her rent, because while they're keeping her there, they could be going behind the scenes to sabotage her efforts to maintain her apartments, which she's done all these years. So anyway, so she falls. And she tells that person, I forget what she called her, like an advocate, or she called her something. But Karen said that it felt like somebody pushed her. That she didn't fall on her own. And she said, it could have been a cloak. So this advocate took that as her being delusional. But meanwhile, I spoke to a targeted person that mans one of these conference calls, or did at one time, and says that he has spoken to many people who have experienced the feeling of being pushed. The technology can cause you to feel like you're being pushed. It's energy. That's what it's, energy. It's pulsing energy. So it could be feeling like you're being pulsed in your face, in your head, your back. Imagine being a targeted person, being in an auto crash, being on all these pain meds, being in the hospital who releases you before you need to be released. You fall, so now you have an injury on top of an injury. There goes another one. Here comes the red vehicle. Oh, and here comes the white one, the checkup one. I mean, these people are sick. Oh, here comes the blue one. Red, white, and blue. Oh, it's so all-American. Welcome to America, Stasi America, the red, white, and blue cars. First it's the yellow, red, white, and blue. In remote rural Kentucky, we have under 800 people here, but you just witnessed 4 that just drove by while I'm talking on the phone. So she has a sternum injury. She's on all these pain meds. She's released home before she was due. She should have been in the hospital a week, not 3 or 4 days. She falls, creates another injury, and then this advocate or somebody is calling her delusional. So I spoke to the chaplain there last night before they took her to the Psych hospital, and he specifically told me that she used the word cloak. I said, yeah. I said, what's the problem with that? I said, you are taking someone with a severe medical condition to a psychiatric facility. You're transporting someone. Oh, here comes another car. Another white one. Car number 5. You're transporting someone with a sternum injury, like at least a half an hour, maybe an hour away from one town to another facility to check her in. I mean, is that medically wise? And then Karen said that once she got there, here comes another one, guys. Here comes the black car. Number 6. 6. Of course, it's number 6. Here comes number 6 car. So she said that, I don't know if when she fell or something, she had a finger injury. It happens when she was joking. Even on the pain med, she's joking that it was her middle finger, and the middle finger needed some stitches. And the guy that stitched her finger stitched it incorrectly. She says, I could have probably done it myself, but, she said, it's my right hand. It's my writing hand. Her middle finger, they stitched it incorrectly, and she feels like she's got some nerve damage there from the way they stitched it. I said, Karen, I think you've got a lawsuit here. And they're not treating you well. I mean, you've got a severe medical condition and they're taking you to a psychiatric area because you made a comment about something. So anyway, I spoke to her for quite a long time. She wants me to get the message out there to everybody. You want to share this story, you can share this video. Her name is Karen. She goes by the handle Goodness8 when she signs on to any of the conference calls. She is a registered nurse. She's in Idaho, near the Boise, Idaho area. And if there's anybody there that could visit or help her, please let me know. Leave a comment down below. You can email me at alternativehomesteading@gmail.com. I also want to welcome all the newcomers. We've got a lot of newcomers. I'm finally getting alerts about some newcomers. Thank you. Thank you, YouTube. Because a lot of people join and I don't get alerts on who the people are. So I can't welcome you. I don't know. But welcome. There are 4 newcomers. Thank you so much. I hope that you're able to learn something from the information I put out there. And I also want to thank everybody for the comments on my eyes. My eyes, this is going on to week number 5. I was very grateful to get a prescription for an antibiotic to possibly help. I took it late last night. I have to see if it's going to work for me. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. Targeted person who happens to be a doctor. See, this is what happens in our community. We need to band together and help each other. Because these criminals are ruling the asylum. And I am never going to shut up about what's happening to me here in rural Kentucky. And just give a shout out. My house, all of this is listed for sale on land.com. You can find me on land.com. And please spread the word. I mean, it's beautiful property. It really is gorgeous for somebody who might be married, have other family members, and who maybe is a little bit younger than I am. So it's absolutely beautiful. It goes all the way back there, all the way up there. I can't even walk everywhere, all the way back there. I haven't walked places. I mean, it's just beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. I love the property. It's gorgeous. But if I were married, I'd probably stay here. Yep, if I were married, I'd probably stay here. If I had other people living here, I would probably stay. It's too much for one person being a targeted person. And these people are nuts around here with single women. They think that I'm like target practice, anything. Oh, and I wanted to mention also the guineas, the baby guineas. They faked me out, guys. And I apologize. But a lot of my animals have been stolen. A lot of my animals have been poisoned and killed and even shot at. Those guineas, when I opened their coop this morning, were in the roof. And I kid you not. This is why if the perps don't unalive me, the guineas will. Because they're nuts. These little babies, they're this big. They're this big. Were in the roof. Inside the coop, in the roof of the coop. I went in there with my high-powered flashlight last night, looking everywhere. I was even looking under birds, thinking, well, maybe they wanted to stay warm because it got cooler last night. Maybe they're under a bird. They were nowhere. I didn't think to look in the roof. Well, how would they get up there? They're too little. I mean, how could they know how to fly now? So I don't mean to alarm you guys, but they're here. They were in the roof of the coop. That was a new thing that they did. They've never done it before. So now I'm going to have to look in the roof, in the peak, right in the peak there, inside. I don't know how they did it. But anyway, please spread the word about Karen. And you can feel free to call the facility if anybody wants to talk to her. The way it works is you have to have the patient ID. Okay, so I'm going to post the address and phone number of the facility in the description section here. But I'm going to say it that her ID that you can call her is 1116. Okay, just 1116. So you can call her. If you have any advice for her, if this has happened to you, if you are a nurse, if you are a doctor, if you are an attorney. If you're an attorney with Morgan & Morgan, please call Karen at this facility. Yes, Institute for Justice, she will be contacting you in the not too distant future, because this is a lawsuit for certain. This woman was in a collision that totaled her vehicle. Her sternum is crushed. She fell to add insult to injury after the hospital released her. After she said she wasn't sure if it was 3 or 4 days. She said it was too soon. She fell in her apartment, incurred another injury, was back at the hospital, but they transferred her from the hospital to a psych facility in Boise, Idaho. They transported her last night, like 10 o'clock at night. I kid you not. So, anyway, anybody who wants me to read on my channel their testimony, if there's something, a situation that has happened to you as a targeted person, how you became targeted, who you think nominated you into the program, into the terrorist screening database, email me at alternativehomesteading@gmail.com, and I'm happy to read your testimony. It has to be written. I'm basically too busy here to have face-to-face interviews, and especially with time zone differences too. It's just too much for me. I've got animals that need to be put to bed at night, and now I've got these ornery, these birds that they're like teenagers. They don't want to go in the coop at night, and they're wild birds. I mean, I know they're wild. They're not a chicken. My chickens are in the coop at like 8 o'clock at night. They're all waiting there for the door to close. But these guys, they're wandering around, chasing each other, mating, just eating bugs. It's pitch black outside. They're just wandering around, and I'm twiddling my thumbs waiting for them to get in the coop so I can lock them up. So this is what it's like here. I know a lot of you guys don't have that, but I also wanted to mention something else. There is a YouTube creator named Creekmore, Creekmore. Okay, now I'm just going to say that he's a prepper, homesteader, farmer, has chickens and stuff, single guy. I think that he might be targeted. Maybe he's at the beginning stages, but he went to a dentist appointment to have his, I guess, impacted wisdom teeth removed on one side. It was an infected tooth or whatever, had it x-rayed, whatever. And he's very nervous about it. He doesn't like these medical doctors and facilities and stuff, but he made sure to show them exactly where it was and what to do. So they knock him out. They knock him out. How do I say this? Okay. So they knock him out, perform the surgery. He wakes up, and of course he's groggy, a little out of it. But he notices that the teeth that were supposed to be removed were still there. And then he noticed that the healthy teeth on the other side were removed. He was also feeling very ill and out of it. He did a quick video afterwards. But his video today was even more alarming. It's MD Creekmore. He's written some books on survival and prepping and stuff like that, so you might want to check him out. He's got his own website too, not just his YouTube channel. He's also got a mailing list, so you can sign up for his mailing list. So he finds out, because this is like all caught on video and they've got to document everything. This dentist, this oral surgeon, gave him fentanyl, and he flatlined during the surgery. I kid you not, he flatlined during surgery. They gave him fentanyl, and then they had to give him Narcan during oral surgery because they screwed up so bad. Not only did they give him a highly addictive, murderous drug to put him out for oral surgery, but then they removed the wrong teeth. Talk about a lawsuit. So if you want to give a shout out to him, listen to his story, and be horrified, go on over there and listen to his last YouTube video. And I will add that something similar happened to my mother. Of course, I'm a targeted person, and they had it in for my mother. They were targeting her too. They blinded her cat. They were going into her apartment when she was visiting me and vandalizing her stuff. I know because after she passed away and I had to clean up her apartment, I saw all of their symbols around and all the things that they did, like stealing, you know, so many of her gloves. They would leave one behind or one earring. My mother never loses stuff, but she'd have all these single gloves, single panty, you know, not pantyhose, single gloves and earrings. Now, every once in a while, people will you'll lose an earring, right? But not half a dozen pair. Not my mother. And then they took a piece out of her bed, her bed frame, which was Formica. Do you know how hard it is to peel Formica? It's hard as a rock. But they did it here in rural Kentucky. They did it to me too. They did it to me too, but they did it to my mother. Oh, there goes the loser boy with his little loser truck making noise. You know, they would need attention. I'm sorry. They need attention. They just want attention. They didn't get enough attention as children. So, yeah, so what they did with my mother during the 19, you know, those 2 years, my mother developed a cough from wearing a mask all the time. Her mask was made of polyester, had a lot of particles, and then she was also inhaling her cosmetics that were on her face, that were on the mask. I know this because I grabbed her masks. I grabbed her masks and brought them home and examined them. So that's why she developed the cough. But the criminals had given her a seizure in her sleep. It's not the first time they've done this. And they can do this. And there was no reason for it. So they bring her to the hospital, and then she's fine. I speak to her the next day. She's excited about going home. But what they did is they 19 tested her, not once, but twice, up the nose, you know. And they got her really sick. They got her so sick, they put her on a ventilator and then gave her remdesivir. They shut down her liver and her kidneys. But then they released her. And then she has a heart attack at home. They bring her to the hospital, and she's brain dead. Yeah, my healthy 83-year-old mother, a couple of years ago, this is what happened to her. I was so fortunate, I'm so grateful to Dr. Bryan Ardis on Rumble, who interviewed me about my mother, because what happened to my mother happened to his father-in-law. And I'll be forever grateful to him to give my mother a voice after what they did to her. What they did to her, to me, to our family. Yes. So we'll give a shout out to Lawrence Hospital in Yonkers, New York. They like to unalive people for profit. Yeah, they racked in $42,000 to unalive my healthy mother. And then when I called Aetna, the insurance company, they said, oh, well, don't worry about it. We paid it. I said, I don't want you to pay it. I don't want you to pay it. Oh, don't worry, we paid it. I said, you should not pay it. They performed services that they should not have performed. But they didn't want to listen to me. Do yourself a favor and don't get insurance. Because if you have insurance, they will financially rape you. They will financially rape you if you have medical insurance. They will take it all away from you. That's just my personal feeling about it. Yeah, she had one of the best insurances. So yeah, $42,000 to knock her off. Collect all that money. So anyway, this is turning into a little medical rant. I will leave the information about Karen in the description section. The link to my interview with Dr. Bryan Ardis is a Rumble. I don't want to post that there, but anybody who wants it can email me privately, or you can go to Rumble, look up Dr. Bryan Ardis, and I believe the title is Another a Mother Gagged and Bound, Another Hospital, MURDER. That's what the title is. So, please say prayers to Karen, Goodness 8, in Idaho for this psychiatric kidnapping. And it is kidnapping, by the way. Also give a shout out to Andy Creekmore, we're very fortunate to have him alive since his oral surgeon administered fentanyl and flatlined him during surgery and had to give him Narcan to revive him. That's right. And the surgery was so successful, they removed the wrong teeth. Yeah. Yes, and they're not taking responsibility for it. So I think that's another lawsuit in the making, don't you? Don't go to the doctor without a friend. That's all I'm saying. My birds are acting up again. But anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. Please hit the thumbs up and share this information. This is serious. This is very, very serious. We're living in very tragic times. I don't see it getting any better either. There are too many sellouts, too many people that get bribed. Some people will do anything for money, anything for power, anything for profit, anything for revenge. They are low vibrational people. But I'm going to sign off for now, get this message out to everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.